Good day. My name is Dolan from Dolan's Tech Journey. For this week's project, I decided to review a lot of AWS content from YouTubers like Tech with Hitch, AWS with Avinash Reddy, and then Data, I guess, Engineering Uncomplicated. And so these YouTubers provided a lot of content to come up with a project idea using AWS components. So this is the final result that I have this week. This is my project. Um, at my church, we often on Sunday mornings take prayer requests from members, and then we disseminate those prayer requests in an email later in the week. And so I thought this might be something practical to do for my church to create a web application using AWS components. And I'll demonstrate how this application works. It's very straightforward. Say if you had a name like, I don't know, Sarah, and then I don't know a good last name for Sarah, Stevens, and say she had trouble in the family, and like, I don't know, maybe uh brother not being nice, or maybe a drunk, I don't know. And then I hit submit to this prayer request, and it sends it to my AWS infrastructure and logs it into a DynamoDB database. And so when I come to my web page that reads these requests, I could hit refresh, and let's see where did she come up? Okay, here she is. Sarah Stevens, family, brother not being nice or maybe a drunk. Not a very nice brother. But let's take a look at some of the components that I use to make this web application. So, okay. Okay. Let's go straight to the DynamoDB table. So I have my AWS opened, and so let's look at my tables. This is the table that I'm using for this particular web application. So I don't know if I need to hit refresh. It should have logged it in, but let's see. Wait, going in circles now. Explore items. So this find Sarah. Okay, let's see. Okay, Sarah Stevens, and there's our record that we just put in. Brother not being nice or maybe a drunk. So let's all pray for Sarah during this week. And so, how to interact with this? Let me throw up the architecture. So this is my web page. It contacts the or engages with Amazon API gateway, a gateway that I set up. Calls the Lambda function, either get, post, or insert those records into my DynamoDB. And then I also, in addition, have a weekly notification system because my wife reminded me that you need to send out the prayer request as an email on a weekly basis. And so I set up a cron job or a scheduler, an event bridge, which interacts with a subscription from AWS SNS to send an email via a Lambda function to the church to let them know who to pray for this week. So let's get back to the AWS components. And so this is my gateway. This is one of my gateways. This gateway I kind of mirrored a lot like Hitch from Tech with Hitch. I mean, he gave a thorough demonstration of how to set up an API. And so I kind of followed his format and had delete, get, patch, post. I mean, he had employees and I had members. That's one of the differences. But I mean, I have to thank Hitch a lot for providing clear content on how to set one of these up. Although I do a lot of Python coding, I never kind of coded for anything like this in Lambda. working with an API. So I did borrow a lot from Hitch's code that he posted on GitHub. I would check it out. I would post his video in my description. But so I did make some modifications to his code, but to interact with the Git and the post and the API and to get that data out of DynamoDB. So thank you, Hitch. So, and then for the weekly email was pretty straightforward. It's pretty much do a get from the DynamoDB, loop through the database rows, and then print them into an email, which the client calls SNS, and it sends out that email on a weekly basis based on my SNS topic weekly prayer requests. So get those requests sent out. So it sets up a cron job or a scheduler, and maybe let's see. Okay, so yeah, this is just my topic, my SNS topic. So, and those YouTube providers showed how to set this up too. So, all in all, it was a very successful week going through YouTube content and trying to create a project. And this again is my cron job. It sets up like cron. So at 4:30 in the morning, Monday through Fridays, I'm sending out the email letting people know who to pray for today. So a very successful project. I'd like to thank the YouTube content providers that I mentioned before, like especially Tech with Hitch and Avanesh Reddy and Data Engineering Uncomplicated. Again, I put the links to their videos in my description. Thank you for listening. See you on the next project.